Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Tim Callahan. Tonight on the Now Bakersfield, have you seen this video? Police looking into that video that's now gone viral on social media, showing a woman dragging a small bloody dog on a scooter. And for those looking for work, details on Lowe's planning to hire thousands of new workers, all starting this month. Plus, one of the most popular fundraising events for the mission at Kern County is almost here. See how you can take part in the Mission Possible Run. That all and ahead now on the Now Bakersfield. Chris?
Let's get to the lineup. New push today to hire more women. They're especially outnumbered in leadership positions. We're getting perspective on what it's going to take to make some change. And more veterans are borrowing cash against their properties as part of cash out home loan programs. But some are getting stuck with thousands of dollars in hidden fees. We have what you need to look out for. And getting a drug prescription by just answering questions on your phone instead of going to see the doctor. It's an idea in the works right now. We're going to talk about how it could work for you.
Largest Buick GMC dealership, Motor City. Check out these incredible customer reviews. Quote, "It was a completely painless process. We highly recommend Motor City GMC to family and friends." Quote, "Next time I'm in need of a new or used vehicle, I'll..."
Well, good evening. Shocking and disturbing videos going viral on social media right here, showing a woman dragging a small dog behind her while she was riding one of those bird scooters. That video now catching the attention of Bakersfield police. Police saying at this hour that dog in the video has been recovered and has received medical attention, is expected to be okay. The Now's Amanda Mason has the latest details in that Now police investigation. We want to warn you, some of these images and video you may see tonight may be disturbing for some viewers.
The little dogs can't run that fast.
This video going viral after a neighbor released these surveillance videos of what appears to be a woman dragging her dog behind her scooter near 20th and A Streets Sunday afternoon. Brandon Sanders said he and his girlfriend were riding their bikes and saw the whole incident.
I couldn't tell what it was, if it was a pet or if it was just something that she was dragging.
He said they were yelling at her to stop.
Finally, when I started getting real close to it, it popped its head up. And it wasn't making any noises or anything like that, so it was kind of surprising. And then as I got up closer, I could see all the bloody paws, and that's when I kind of didn't know what to do.
Sanders said he asked the woman what happened and if she and the dog were okay. She responded,
"It happens just like it does with kids." And we told her, no, you don't drag your kids behind a scooter at 15 miles an hour. And then she kind of pulled the scooter over to the side and set the scooter down, and she was just looking at her. And I'm saying her because she was calling her mama, so I'm guessing it was a her. And she was kind of looking at her, and then she reached down and kind of fidgeted with her for a minute, and then she finally picked her up. And we were asking her, what are you doing? What were you thinking? And she told us to leave her alone.
23 ABC has chosen to blur the woman's face because officials have not arrested or charged her with a crime. Sanders says he and his girlfriend followed her for 20 minutes and called the police while she was carrying the dog. Sanders says he grabbed some photos of the dog because he wanted to have proof for the police.
And as I came up beside her, I was taking the picture. I was on my bicycle and she was walking. And she looked at me, and when she saw that I was taking her picture, she smiled at me. Kind of a smart aleck smile. So
I think that's what a lot of people are really upset about as well, that she's smiling, holding
yes.
the dog.
I'm not going to say that what she did was intentional, but it was very negligent. She had to have drugged the dog at least 100 yards before she even checked to see if it was still there. That's just from what we saw, from the point to where we actually saw her to where she stopped.
We knocked on the woman's door, but no one answered.
I love animals. I love all animals. And I just believe that they should be cared for just like a child.
The Now's Amanda Mason there, and the Bird Scooter Company releasing a statement regarding the incident. A company representative saying, quote, "We find the video to be deeply disturbing and are appreciative of the community for bringing it to our attention. This type of rider behavior is wrong and prohibited by Bird." They go on to say in that statement, "As soon as we were made aware of the video, we began our own investigation and have suspended the account for that individual involved in the incident." Well, today the IRS announcing that despite that government shutdown, it will process tax returns starting January 28th and issue tax refunds as planned, a move ordered by the White House earlier this morning. The IRS says they've sent close to 90% of its workforce home without pay due to that government partial shutdown happening. According to a contingency plan published by the agency in December, IRS offices are closed, tax questions not being answered, and prior to today's announcement, there was concern that tax refunds to early filers may not be issued on time if that shutdown dragged on, but all looks good for there right now. Chris?
Home and refinance loan programs targeted towards military veterans may sound great, but the Now's Nicole Vowell found that they can be a story of borrower beware.
The ads are appealing.
To use your valuable VA home loan benefit.
Deals for vets to refinance their homes and cash out on the equity.
What if you have a car that breaks down and that's your only avenue to get to work?
John Bell, Deputy Director for the Veterans Affairs Benefits Department in D.C., says there are many reasons why vets can take advantage of borrowing cash against their home. But how you choose a cash-out lender makes a big difference.
We want to make sure that veterans are armed with the information from a disclosure process early in the process as well as through closing so that they understand the decisions they're making.
According to a report by the American Enterprise Institute, in September of 2018, vets cashed in on cash-outs. They accounted for 86% of mortgage loans, up 30% from 2 years prior. Bell says, unfortunately, there are predatory lenders out there targeting vets, sticking them with thousands of dollars in hidden fees.
Have we seen it? Yes. Do we know how to combat it? Do we know how to help you in navigating the experience? Without a doubt.
In 2018, the VA stepped up its regulations for lenders by monitoring cash-out refinance loans more closely and have always offered advisor services to protect borrowers through their long-standing VA home loan program.
We need to make sure that all lenders are operating on the same playing field, that they're all giving the veterans the transparency that they need in which to make informed decisions.
Bell says in order to not cause a mortgage crisis among vets, it's best if you know what you're getting yourself into.
Be sure that you're asking the right questions. You want to know the exchange of equity that you're going to take out. What is the overall cost of that? And make an informed decision.
For the Now, I'm Nicole Vowell reporting.
All right, Nicole, thank you. Let's get to our lineup here and a push to hire more women. They are especially outnumbered in leadership positions. We're going to get some perspective on what it's going to take to make some change. Let's get to the Now News feed. Today, actor Kevin Spacey pleading not guilty in a Massachusetts courtroom. Spacey's accused of groping a young man at a Nantucket bar in 2016. Interesting story here. Saudi Arabia taking divorce into the digital age. Saudi women divorced by their husbands, they'll now be sent a text message letting them know there's been an ongoing problem in that country of men divorcing their wives and not telling them. Well, this here is the most retweeted tweet ever. Japanese billionaire tweeted that he was going to give more than $900,000 away online. It has now been retweeted more than 5 million times. Well, the new high-profile push today to hire more women. Right now, about 47% of the American workforce are women. But when it comes to leadership positions, they're drastically outnumbered. The Now's Annie Taylor taking a look at why this is and what needs to be done.
In the next 2 years, everything that I produce, I am making a vow, and it's going to be tough, to make sure that everything that I produce, that is 50% women.
That was Best Supporting Actress winner Regina King. In her speech at the Golden Globes last night, she vowed to create change in her workplace and encouraged all industries to do the same and hire more women. Currently, there are only a handful of women CEOs in the top Fortune 500 companies. Mary Barra, CEO of General Motors, Michelle Buck for Hershey, Safra Katz for Oracle, and Michelle Gass for Kohl's. Leadership expert and author Betsy Meyer says these companies realize it makes sense to have a woman in power when their main customers are women.
Something like 90% of consumer spending is done by women. When companies are looking at who's buying insurance, who's buying cars, who's buying clothes, who's watching our movies.
To help bridge the gap in leadership, Betsy says there are a few things corporations need to do. First, create an open conversation.
It's just a matter of building relationships, having these conversations, letting each other know what it feels like to be in each other's shoes. And that's what builds in a company, a community of people who feel safe to have those conversations. They feel safe that they belong and they're cared about. And that's the shift that's going on in the leadership field.
Next, men need to support women in getting into those top positions.
I would say, what man in your company organization has juice that other men actually respect and want to emulate? And you bring those men in who care about this issue.
Lastly, creating sponsorship programs for women to be seen.
Most men will tell you that they have 4 or 5 in their successful men at tops of organizations, 4 or 5 sponsors, men who, kind of pulled them up, brought them along, invited them to meetings, networked. And most women will tell you, I didn't have any of that.
Now, we are seeing some progress. Just this weekend, CBS announced they will be promoting Susan Zirinsky as the first woman to lead the story division in the network's history. For the Now, I'm Annie Taylor.
Meanwhile, today, Lowe's announcing with officials there are adding plans to hire more than 65,000 associates this year to improve customer service and product availability. Those positions posted to the Lowe's website beginning mid-January for certain locations. The available positions include about 6,000 full-time assistant store managers and department supervisor roles to improve customer service and leadership. More than 2,000 technology roles, including software engineers, data scientists, and other digital positions to build and enhance core technology capabilities will be added. The first 500 of those technology positions will be posted and filled throughout 2019. Well, the new study hopes to shine some light on 2 different vaccinations, all for the flu. The study published today in the Journal of Pediatrics looks at the effectiveness of the traditional flu shot versus the nasal spray. Researchers used previous studies for their report. They concluded that the spray may not work as well as the shot against the flu in children. According to scientists, the shot is around 51% effective at battling influenza. They say the nasal spray, 26% effective. A professor noted that the new data from the spray's manufacturing department showing its performance has actually improved. That new data was not included in the study. While neither flu vaccine is 100% effective, health officials say it's still important to get vaccinated. A vaccine can lessen the severity of symptoms and how long those symptoms last. Well, one of the biggest local fundraisers for the mission at Kern County getting ready to kick off or perhaps run off. Officials with the local homeless shelter here announcing their registration has now begun for their annual Mission Possible 5K run in April. The event will be held on April 20th on the trails near Calm on Alfred Harold Highway. Each paid entry will get you into a drawing for a chance to win some prizes. There'll also be a hot pancake and sausage breakfast available the day of the event. All the proceeds go toward the life-changing programs offered at the mission at Kern County. For more information on how to register, go to our website, turn23.com. Here's Allison Gargara with a look at our pretty nice forecast for tonight.
It was very nice, and we're seeing clear skies as we head into the overnight hours, but we had a warm afternoon. 67 degrees was our high. That's 12 degrees above normal, which is at 55, and it doesn't look like we're going to be getting that cool for at least the next 7 days. Calm conditions right now, but winds are going to be picking up in the mountains. Gusts could be nearing 50 miles per hour. That does bring up a wind advisory that will be impacting the Kern County mountains beginning at 1 in the morning tomorrow, continuing until noon on Tuesday. So going to be feeling those strong winds actually ahead of a system that could be bringing some rain here in Kern County. But thankfully that means another day of air quality in the good range. Actually, tomorrow will be the second day in a row with an AQI of 42, and there are no restrictions, but burning is discouraged. So we are tracking this system that's going to be making its way on shore on Wednesday morning. We'll be pushing into the county in the afternoon. So this is at 1 p.m. on Wednesday. We're going to be seeing those winds picking up, then the clouds push in the early morning hours, and we're going to be seeing those scattered showers throughout the afternoon here in the valley, and that will be continuing into the mountains as we head into the overnight hours. Now, as for temperatures here in Bakersfield, they are going to be holding on to the 60s through at least Saturday, but we're actually tracking a second system pushing into the county on Friday. That looks to be a bit more impressive than what we could be seeing on Wednesday. Then that's going to be clearing out on Saturday, tracking a second system on Sunday, continuing into the early days of next week. So it's going to be a warm one tomorrow with a high of 66 degrees. The Now Bakersfield will be right back.
Right now, hundreds of caravan migrants are in Mexico, and they're deciding whether they should stay there for months, waiting out the U.S. asylum process, or if it's time for them to head back to the home they fled. In the meantime, many families are staying in makeshift shelters and tents. And the Now's Kamasier, and speaking to one woman who decided to go and help.
They're just people wanting to live their lives without fear of their children being kidnapped and trafficked, without their land being taken away from them.
Retired nurse Beverly Line back in the U.S. from helping migrants at a Tijuana shelter.
So this is the feel. It's just open, chaotic.
She's no stranger to humanitarian crises. Her medical career has taken her to places like Haiti, Nicaragua, and Uganda. After seeing the caravan of Central Americans living in tents and running from tear gas, she wanted to see for herself what was going on and how she could help.
I've always worked, so I'm here and I'm going, oh, I need to do something.
Handing out supplies with the human rights group Border Angels and offering medical care when she could, she saw firsthand how little ones are exposed to big group environments and may not be getting the nutrition that they need. The recent deaths of 2 young children, one from the flu, while in U.S. Border Patrol custody shelters, hit her hard.
They're stressed. Mom isn't there or daddy isn't there.
Homeland Security says children in custody will be assessed more thoroughly, but Line says more has to be done.
It's like sending me in. Well, I could say, yeah, they have a fever. Is it something we need to worry about? That there are all these terrorists that are hovering there with weapons to come and harm us. I didn't see anybody that gave me pause to worry about my safety or wonder what the heck they're doing there.
She hopes her presence showed them something about Americans they might never meet.
That they are being remembered, that they aren't forgotten, and that we are caring for them.
A new perspective from the other side of the wall. For the Now, I'm Kumasi Aaron.
All right, Kamasi, thank you. Let's get this news feed started with some bad news for really an iconic creature. New numbers say the amount of monarch butterflies is down 86% in California, and we're just talking through a 2-year period. Experts not really sure why this is happening. They think a late rainy season and those wildfires are part of the problem. But what would you call a Dollar Tree store if they charged more than $1? That could be reality. An investor in the company thinks they need to raise prices. He says the store has kept prices at $1 since it opened in 1986. $1 then, now worth $2.30 today. Well, Pizza Hut delivering more than just pizza. The company adding beer delivery to nearly 300 restaurants, including ones in Florida and Ohio, and they hope to boost the amount to around 1,000 stores by this summer. Well, paying off a car is taking longer than it used to. Edmunds found that interest rates are rising, and cars are also costing more on average. New cars cost about $32,000. In 2010, the average cost was just $26,000. Now, the interest that we're paying is also going up. The average term for a car loan is now about a lot can help. All right, let's check back in with our lineup here. And getting a drug prescription just by Grocery stores owned by Kroger will now take a look at your grocery list. The chain's starting to roll out a technology in its stores that communicates with your phones. Now, as you walk down the aisle, the technology will alert you if you're walking by items that are on your list. The technology will also tell the store when items need to be restocked and will use digital price tags. Well, getting a drug prescription now could be as easy as just answering a few questions on your phone. Certainly sounds convenient. The Now's Kamasi Aaron here to break down how the FDA is trying to make this happen.
Chris, these apps would make it easy for patients to skip the trip to the doctor's office and go straight to the pharmacy. Right now, there are apps out there that let you talk to a doctor through a video chat. They can talk to you at any time of day and can write drug prescriptions without being in the same city or even the same state. But now the FDA wants to take doctors out of the equation and leave it all up to patients. Instead, people would fill out quizzes about their health, according to the Wall Street Journal, and the app would determine whether they need a certain prescription. Patients would receive a code that unlocks a shelf at the pharmacy so they can get their medication. The FDA believes the apps would be convenient for people without health insurance. They'll often go without life-saving medication because they just cannot get a prescription. Drug prescribing apps could help bridge that gap. Now, some of the drugs that would be prescribed through these apps include meds for high blood pressure, migraines, and asthma. The FDA is still brainstorming guidelines for drug prescription apps. They'll come out sometime this year.
All right, Kamasi, thank you. Great information there and great information here. Look at this, helping the blind see all by using video calls and a smartphone. Hundreds of thousands of people in the blind community across the world are turning to a volunteer-based app, Foresight. Well, tomorrow, right here on the Now, we want you to join us because we're going along with one visually impaired man to see how it works for him. That story tomorrow, right here on the Now.
Well, coming up tonight on 23 ABC News at 11, she's now officially the new district attorney here in Kern County. Our 23 ABC's Josh Sanders sits down with Cynthia Zimmer for a one-on-one interview, her first day. Her new plans for Kern County as the top cop here. That and more coming up tonight on 23 ABC News at 11.
But taking a live look outside, we are seeing temperatures still in the 60s here in the valley. 59 degrees right now here in Bakersfield, but clear skies. That's all going to be changing as we head into the rest of the work week. Winds will be picking up, especially in the mountains. We could be seeing gusts nearing 50 miles per hour through the grapevine overnight. So there is a wind advisory impacting the Kern County mountains beginning at 1 in the morning on Tuesday, continuing until noon tomorrow. So make sure that you are staying safe on the roads if you're driving to work. Temperatures here in the valley, though, going to be holding on to the 60s for the rest of the work week. 66 degrees as a high on Tuesday. Then some rain chances moving in on Wednesday, but then a more impressive storm later this weekend, bringing the chance for some snow.
Yeah, Alta Sierra could get some more.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty cool. All right,
Exciting.
that's it for us here on the Now Bakersfield. We'll see you tonight on 23 ABC News at 11. Good night.